Did you know that you can eat wild violet leaves like spinach? I didn't. I just learned that this week, and I've been wildcrafting with violets since 2019. In this video, I'm going to give you a few ideas on how you can use your own wild violets. But first, we need to pick them. When harvesting wild violets, be sure to pick them with either your fingers or a pair of scissors because you don't want to damage the root. You can pick the flowers, which are completely edible, or the heart-shaped leaves. Violets spread through rhizomes and seeds, so if you damage the root, you're down a perennial. It's especially important if you're foraging violets. Because they spread through rhizomes like mint, they can be very aggressive, and that's why they are often considered a weed because they'll pop up in places that you don't want them, like your garden. So now I have my violets picked. We're gonna go inside and make something.
Just kidding. We're still outside, but only for a little bit. This is one of the easiest and prettiest things you can make with violets. Ice cubes. Fill up an ice cube tray with a couple of these darling blooms and water for a sweet and charming pop for your beverages. Add them to sparkling water, cocktails, and lemonade for some lovely springtime fun.
Another thing you can make with violets is violet leaf oil. Herbal oils are such a beautiful thing to slather on your skin after a shower or a bath. They are incredibly moisturizing and you get all of the botanical benefits to boot. We'll get into why violets are amazing a little bit later because violets are more than just a pretty face. When you have herbal oils on hand, like the one I'm going to show you how to make today, you can use them to make salves, to make balms, to make moisturizers. And a spoiler alert, I'll be showing you how to make a couple of those today. Now, when infusing an oil with botanicals, there are a couple of ways to go around it. One is the fast way, which is to say you're going to be heating up your oil very slowly with the herbs, with the violet leaves. But I like doing things the old-fashioned way around here. And if you're new to my channel, that's how I do most things around here, like cooking from scratch, making herbal medicines, living frugally, and growing my own food. Since we're going to be making violet leaf oil the old-fashioned way, it is important to note that you don't want to use fresh leaves. Give your leaves a day or two to dry up a bit. It'll help remove the moisture, which will help prevent the oil from spoiling. Making an herbal oil is very simple, and this goes for most oils. So all you have to do is fill your jar with the botanical of choice. In this case, it's violet leaves. And then you cover them with enough oil to submerge. I'm going to be using extra virgin olive oil. That's what I use in most cases. You can use almond oil, you can use jojoba oil, which can get expensive, but if you want to use it for a facial moisturizer, that would be the best choice. And then you store it in a cool, dark spot for 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes I leave it longer because I forget. So it's important to label the jar with a date, possibly what it is in case you forget. I often forget these things, but I can usually tell by looking at the plant that's inside. And then once it has marinated for good and long and it has infused the oil with its herbal goodness, you strain it, squeeze out all the oil from the leaves, and then you label it and it'll be good for a year. All right. Now we're going to move on to a couple of things that you can make with violet leaf oil.
The first thing I'm going to show you what you can make with violet leaf oil is a simple lip balm recipe that I'll link in the description below. We will need 1 tablespoon of beeswax, 1 tablespoon of shea butter, 3.5 tablespoons of our violet leaf oil, and half a tablespoon of castor oil, which really adds that shine. We're also going to need a few drops of essential oil. I'm going to go with lavender today, but I adore this with peppermint. Start out by heating everything but the essential oil over a water bath until the beeswax is completely melted. Once it's homogeneous, remove it from the heat, and when the bowl is cool enough to handle, add 5 to 10 drops of the essential oil, if desired. Finally, pour it into small lip balm tins, I'll link the ones I use below, and let them cool completely before covering. I give these all the time, and they're always a huge hit. Moving right along, we're making a whipped violet leaf body butter. It is so easy to make, Put half a cup of shea butter and a quarter cup of violet leaf oil in a bowl and set it over a water bath until completely melted. Then pop it in the fridge or the freezer to help set it for the next stage. Using a hand mixer, mix up the lotion and then add a scant tablespoon of arrowroot powder or organic cornstarch to cut the grease, along with 5 completely optional drops of vitamin E oil and 10 drops of essential oil. I'm using geranium essential oil, but lavender would be lovely too. Then mix it all up until smooth. Store it in glass jars and use it up within a year.
So, why make a violet oil or a violet body butter? Well, violets are really good when it comes to breast health. It's also really good for treating swollen glands. So, if you have a problem with hot, inflamed tissues, violets are cooling and they're moistening, and they're really good at combating those kind of conditions. So, that's why I like having an oil or a body butter on hand to help out with that. Violets can even break down hardened cysts. I don't have experience with that, but that's what I've read. Now it's time for a quick interlude. I still have a few more ideas to share with you, but if we haven't met yet, my name is Sylvia with Vintage Kitchen Vixen, where I share old-fashioned tips, skills, and recipes for a slow and simple life. And if you are liking this video so far, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. All right, now back to the wild crafting.
Did you know violets are good for dry coughs? This isn't the right time of year for me to be making cough syrup, but you can make yours with dried violets following these steps, skipping out on the rinse. I have made a similar recipe in a previous video for cocktails, but I'll be using raw honey today for its medicinal benefits. I collected 3.5 cups, give or take, of fresh violets for this recipe and used around a cup of boiling water. After rinsing the violets, I realized that my Cambro was way too big to properly steep the violets. I wanted to save myself a dish, who can blame me? So note that a large measuring cup will do the trick nicely. I let my violets steep all day, but it's enough to steep them until the infusion, or the tea, has cooled. Strain and squeeze the violets for every drop of their violet goodness, and if you'd like, squeeze in some lemon, about a tablespoon or so, to change the color. The more you add, the brighter it gets. You can make a magenta syrup if you add enough lemon, but this step is actually quite redundant because the addition of honey will alter the hue. It's just fun to do magic. Either way, slowly heat the infusion until it's warm enough to dissolve honey. And you're probably going to hate this and withdraw the thumbs up you may have given this video, and if you did like it at one point, my sincere thank you. But I hate measuring and will not give you a measurement for the honey. I usually aim to get an even ratio of honey to the infusion, but you can get away with less. But let's say if you do a cup of water, then you'll do a cup of honey. Okay, there you go. I'm giving you a measurement. The honey, which can soothe sore throats, also helps to extend the shelf life, which is about a month. But if you add in some vodka or brandy, you can wildly increase its longevity. If I know I won't use it up in time, I'll start splashing the syrup in sparkling water and cocktails. I also wish I would have had my syrup ready when I made violet ice cream, but we'll get to that later.
The first thing we're going to do is dry some leaves. I like keeping violet leaves handy in my home apothecary because it helps with coughs, it helps with digestive issues. It's really easy to dry violet leaves. You can also buy them if you aren't able to harvest enough leaves. I'll leave a link to Mountain Rose Herbs below where you can pick some up.
When it comes to drying violet leaves and flowers for teas and even oils, there are 2 ways I go about it. Air drying them on a baking sheet for a couple of weeks, or on the lowest setting of my trusty dehydrator for a few hours. You could probably dry them in a low oven too, but I've never gone about it that way. At any rate, once they're dry, store them in a glass jar until you're ready to use it, which I clearly am because I am now fixing my own tea bag. I never did come around to tea balls. I have a teapot with a built-in strainer, but tea balls? I struggle with them. Am I alone in this? If there's a tea bag you swear by, let me know about it in the comments below. When making violet tea, I aim for 1 teaspoon per cup of water. You can use fresh leaves and flowers too. Just double the quantity and give the leaves a chop. It makes a relaxing, delicate tea. It would blend well with oat straw or nettle leaf if you keep these items on hand and if you like blending your own teas. I digress. Is there anything better than a good, nourishing cup of herbal tea? You tell me.
The last thing we're making is a complete experiment, and it is violet ice cream. I have no idea if this is going to turn out, but I'm going to be infusing violets in cream, and we'll go from there.
This did not turn out at all. The cream did not get infused, and the temperature did not matter in the slightest. I imagined a lavender colored ice cream, and this is where a violet syrup would have saved the day. I also wanted to make a naturally sweetened ice cream, though I'm no stranger to making the real deal, which I do in my video about reusing vanilla bean pods, which I'll link below. A nice thing about honey and ice cream is that honey is an inverted sugar, which reduces ice crystals during storage. I added mine when I heated the cream after giving up on a cold infusion, and I added it to taste. You can do the same with regular sugar too, but if you want specifics, my old-fashioned vanilla ice cream recipe in the vanilla video is waiting for you in the description. And besides, this was a failed experiment. In the end, I just dumped a lot in my ice cream maker, violets and all, and I created a beautiful masterpiece. See? I would have preferred less violets in this ice cream, or violets as a garnish had the infusion worked out, or I had a violet syrup ready, but it was fun nevertheless, and something I would try again, unlike the sugared violet disaster from my first violet video. To err is to be human, and that's all I have to say about that.
Hopefully, I've given you some ideas on how you can use your wild violets. This video was a long time coming. I made a video about how to use wild violets a couple of years ago, and it was outdated. I wanted to go into more of an edible and medicinal approach this time around. If you want to check out the older video that I made, I will link that below in case you want to get more ideas on how to put your wild violets to use. Otherwise, I strongly recommend that the next video you watch is some ideas on what you can grow in your garden, especially if you do like putting plants to good use. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you haven't liked this video already, please give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye!